Did it turn green?
Yeah.
All right.
Or no, it turned red.
Red is on.
There's always Joe's face right in front of the
That's,
camera.
yep, that's right. Classic moment. Okay, I'm calling to order the April 23rd Planning Board meeting. First on the agenda is review of March 26 minutes, but we will do that at the end. So next up is Planning Board 19-02 Site Plan Review. Proposal from Brittany Maya to operate a dog boarding, daycare, training, and grooming business at 504 Laconia Road in the mixed-use district. We'll take a look at the application. Did anybody have a chance to look through it? It's the Chic Dog Hotel. Application. The application looks substantially complete. Would somebody like to make a motion to?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So, Brittany, would you like to speak about? You come up here if you want. Sit. Microphone, please. Yeah.
Okay.
So we can record.
Is that good?
Tell us.
I don't know.
Yep. That's fine.
So the site plan, there's basically everything that's in there. Everything that we're doing is basically just to make the property functional and look better. So regardless of what business is in there, this has to kind of get done. The foundation work, the barn needs to be finished so it can be operated and kind of used. The only other thing is that there would be a fence in the backyard. And I think that's pretty much it. I mean, a lot of the business sign I'm working with Kelly on, and she's doing all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. The signs.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I believe she spoke to someone with code enforcement to get the correct stuff for that sign. So that's not up yet, but we're working on that.
Okay.
What's there now?
So-
Just a residence? Yeah, there was somebody renting it.
That's where Billy Doubleday had a wood shop there at one time.
Okay.
And now it's just empty, not being used. They can't really find anyone to use the barn and the house, so that's kind of where it was kind of tricky for a long time.
There was apartments at one time too, I believe. Where they, had several people living there.
Yep,
So,
it was divided.
and you went before the ZBA.
Correct.
And did they, I tried to watch as much as that as I could. What were the conditions that they put on?
Basically just the fencing, that it had to be like a solid panel, and it had to be like an 8-foot fence, and that there could only be 10 dogs out there at a time.
10 dogs during the day,
Yeah.
and then no overnight dogs, or?
I do have overnight dogs, but they're not out to play at night. They basically just go out one at a time by themselves just to go potty, and then we come back in. Yeah.
So 10 dogs during the day.
Yeah.
So actually, the conditions of the ZBA approval, I included in the stuff across the back of the stage there, I believe.
Yeah, I have it.
So there are actually 4 conditions of approval. No more than 10 dogs will be allowed outside at any time. A maximum of 42 dogs may be present at
Yep.
any time. So essentially, that's occupancy limit for dogs. No more than 10 dogs may be boarded overnight, and then the 8-foot fence.
Right. There you go.
Right. Okay. Okay, thank you for that clarification of dog.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
You have a fenced-in area right behind the restaurant, right?
It would kind of be behind it.
Well, according to the picture, it's directly behind it. And I'm just curious, as these dogs are going out there to do their business, what sort of provisions you'd make to keep that area free of
Yeah.
dog
Yeah.
droppings? Look at me not saying the S word. Well, sometimes in New Hampshire it gets moist and humid, and having a dog
Yeah.
toilet right behind the restaurant might not be a good thing for the restaurant.
Right.
Good point.
It's picked up like as soon as it happens because they also play out there. So I also clean it with biodegradable stuff. That's all actually in there, and it's cleaned probably about 2 or 3 times a day. So it's
So that won't be an issue.
right, and it's put actually right in a dumpster that's going to be picked up. So it won't be sitting out or anything like that.
Go ahead.
Madam Chair, could you repeat the address of that facility, please?
Yes. I think it's.
It's next to Shiloh's restaurant.
Or, yeah, it's next to Shiloh's restaurant, and 504 Laconia Road, thank you.
Well, I'm trying to look at this, 2 things. In your thing, it says it was 200 feet from the nearest road, but when I did a rough estimate on Google Map, a measuring thing on Google's map, I got 150 feet. And it makes a difference to anyone. But I can't figure out what the lot line is on this and where this building is, because to me, I don't know if the lot line is between that parking lot and the restaurant next door. So is this the lot line over here? Where's the lot line?
Well,
There's no lot plan.
Shiloh's and that house is typically all one lot. All
But
3.
I don't have anything that shows me that. I have a plot plan where no buildings on it.
Okay.
And then it just seems,
Was that big map that I brought in? Was that?
Yeah,
Honestly, I don't.
Okay.
I think that, we have to accept.
here it is.
Oh, that, no, that's.
I understand that.
Oh, no, that's Sanborn Road.
This overhead
You're
thing,
right.
where's the, I
It's
don't
online.
know, there's no,
The overhead thing is on there.
Right.
I don't know.
It was
for sure.
online, I think, that,
I think there's, I'll just mention if I may, obviously the planning board doesn't have the information it needs to make a decision, and that's one thing. If, on the other hand, through deliberation, by asking questions, the board is able to make a decision, potentially the board, because Ms. Maya has submitted a plan, I just don't know exactly where it is right now. Potentially the board could make a conditional approval that there be a site plan that addresses some of the things Mr. Pyre was talking about submitted. So that's what I see as options.
Okay, that's good. Anything else? Lighting, I know.
I have a question.
Lighting.
Mr. Burke, always a pleasure to see you, sir.
Always a pleasure to be seen.
There you go. I noticed that a significant portion of the plan for this is located on your property, is that correct?
I own all that property. I own
it's all his.
Oh, you own the barn part
I
too?
own the house, I own the barn, I own the silos, and I own my old hardware store where TLC.
Yeah, I remember the store. I used to like that store right at the end of my street, but that's another story. I just wanted to make sure that there was no issue with the dogs being out behind the restaurant as far as you were concerned.
Yep. I appreciate that.
Well, we'll open it up to a public, to the public, and I guess we can do it in a moment. But obviously the barking issue has come up, and I just wanted to address that. I know it's, you don't know, so, but if you could make a statement.
Well, just regarding the barking, I've been in a 3-unit plaza for 3 years now, and I haven't had any noise complaints. Actually, at the variance meeting, I submitted some stuff regarding the barking and kind of shutting that down. The dogs, when they're outside, they really don't bark. If we do have a dog outside that's continuously barking, we bring them in, just because that can also be like a dominant behavior, and some dogs just don't like being barked at. So we kind of control the play level and the excitement level, so it's not as loud as a typical kennel. That's just not what I am about. So that's kind of it as far as barking.
Right.
Where's your current place located?
I'm in Gilmanton.
And how many dogs do you have there?
On average, probably anywhere between like 10 to 15 dogs right now. And I have the same limit as 42 with the town over there. So even though I have that limit, it doesn't mean I'm going to have 42 there.
Right, that's a lot of dogs. Yes.
I just wanted to make an observation that I take my dogs to Chichester, and she has a fairly large kennel, and it's in a residential area, and she probably has 50 dogs
Yeah.
in daycare, and I've never heard one of the dogs bark yet. I'm serious.
It all depends.
And then there's Moonlight Kennels, which is on Autumn Drive in Tilton, and we've had meetings in that area, and no one's ever complained about barking dogs there. So I think, that's some history.
Yeah, it all really depends on the structure.
Yeah.
I mean, if the dogs are barking all day, they're just not happy. So something has to be
Exactly.
changed at that point.
True.
And that's not really that much of a residential area on that side of the road.
Right.
It's on the other side, which is, if they can stand Route 3 traffic.
Right.
Those are just comments I wanted to add on your behalf.
Yeah, Route 3 definitely will block a lot of noise if there is any.
That's true. Thank you. Anything else?
Is that DOT highway permit? Driveway permit, DOT?
They'd have to check. I would not be surprised if DOT did not require that. A butter notice was sent to DOT. So they had opportunity to comment.
I guess, because I know that they had concerns when that connected over to Shiloh's, and that's why they had to divide that parking lot.
Okay.
And I think, I could be, and that's why they have that squiggly fence, because of DOT, because it was an open curb, if you will.
Okay.
So I'm just curious, and I'm just asking this, would DOT come back and say, no, you have to connect to whatever that road is, Lockney Road?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm asking that question.
Yeah, so
DOT's concern, I believe, is that they were going in and out on 2 separate places.
yeah, right, or that an adjoining property was using the exit for another
Exactly.
property, and they made them block that off, yeah. So I think, maybe an adequate way to address that would be, you'll need to contact DOT to inform
Okay.
them of the increased use of the site. And my guess is they're gonna say, yeah, it's a little bit of an increase, but it's not enough to require an updated driveway permit. On the other hand, they could say, no, it's more activity, we need an updated driveway permit. And that would be a requirement. It's not something you know, I think potentially the board would include it as a condition of approval, but it really is between you and DOT.
Okay.
Okay, opening it up to the public. Does the public have any comment?
I guess I have a couple questions. First, I'm very much in support of this site. I think that's great.
Oh, thanks.
The questions I had is, I guess two of them would be, when, let's say, permitted use in that area, is that, I'm not familiar with that. And the other question I have is, I believe your site plan, you were going to have the dumpster empty every 2 weeks.
Most likely every week is what I'm probably going to do. Either every week or every other week.
And what I was getting at is that the feces would be disposed in that sealed container or
Yeah.
something to control flies or anything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And the container would be, just, it gets hot.
yeah, but it's gonna be,
And I'm sure you do, if you could explain how.
yep, it's gonna be actually behind the building, so you won't be able to really see it by the road or anything like that. And it will be closed and it will be emptied as much as possible. In the summer, it will probably be emptied more for that reason, but in the winter and stuff, it's probably gonna be every other week, or as needed. That's pretty much it.
Well permitted use.
It's in the mixed-use district. And,
It did require a variance. in
Yeah.
that.
yeah,
And they went to the zoning board.
Yes.
yeah. So they have that. So anybody else?
I guess my still concerned about the lot
All right,
lines.
bring
That's
it
why.
back to the board here.
About the what?
The lot lines,
Well, she'll have to come back with a,
because if this fence in there, even though he owns the other lot,
He doesn't own the other lot, it's all one lot.
there's 3 lots on this.
according to
There's
this,
a
it's
plot,
a
there's 3
separate
lots
lot.
here. I can't tell where the property line is in relation to the building. So I have a question about setbacks. I also want to make sure that we're Shiloh's to go in, and all of a sudden, you know, they wake up one day, they got, you know, a possibility of up to 10 dogs, or how many ever dogs are allowed outside, barking outside their restaurant. So I just want to know where the lot lines are.
And you have that information now, so
Yeah.
you can supply that pretty easily.
Yeah, maybe I could. Do you feel that, now, the plan you submitted, do you feel that addresses what Mr. Pyre is getting at? I can't.
That big map, I believe, that I submitted had all that stuff on there.
Locations and dimensions, okay.
And I believe I actually sent a copy to your email.
Oh,
Was it digital that you had?
well,
Can I take out my phone and,
if you, yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, and then you can
Wait,
show
would
it to
you-
them.
Yeah, if you have it, that would solve everything.
No, I had, you know, Sheena, approaching, you know, as of probably the last month, Sheena's been dealing directly
Well,
with
but in
Maya.
the, in the,
And I,
yeah, it was both, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, if we can print that up, I mean, potentially it would satisfy Mr. Pyre's concerns. If not, at least maybe the board could comment on what needs to be added to it.
Okay. Let me see if I have that in here.
no, I guess my question is,
I guess you could show it
did
to us.
that, if it was electronic, did you submit it to us for
Yeah, I don't think so.
I
ZBA?
don't-
Yeah, oh,
Oh,
yeah, no.
ZBA.
Because I submitted ZBA, I can just
Right,
find my
yeah,
emails.
thank you, no.
Right, I tried. I'll put it back,
2 phones worth, too.
working home.
I believe this one is it, so I'm just trying to pull that up.
If you want to resend it to me, so it's at the top of my email, I could go over my computer and potentially print it right
And I'm trying to find it in my emails right now. Because there's so much like stuff that was.
there. Yeah,
So I guess the only other thing, we've got, like, in snowy weather,
Yep.
how would you let them, I guess, just shovel paths, or do you have a plan for that?
Yeah.
No.
I'm most likely just going to end up shoveling all the snow, except for in the front of the building, which will be plowed. And I believe what he does now is he just plows it to one side. So we're just gonna continue to do the same thing, because if it works, it's probably fine.
And I think you addressed that in.
Yep.
It doesn't show it on this map though where snow storage is.
No, that's why they need a real plan.
Yeah, I don't know, I can't find it.
There will be a regular site plan, yes. I want to know about lighting and snow dumps, exactly where the dumpster is going to sit, amongst other things. But that would come up when you came up with the regular plan.
Okay, did we go, did you?
Oh, sorry,
Oh,
construction,
okay.
sorry.
All right, so do we want to continue this until we have more information on the map?
Or is that a
Thoughts?
condition of,
Or is that a condition? Are we ready for conditions, or are we ready to continue?
I think without a proper plot plan, I think they're putting the cart before the horse, and if we do some additional things.
it's just too bad because she already submitted it.
Yeah,
We just
why
don't
don't
have
we-
it.
Yeah, and if you look at the application, it says that.
But
That,
I think that, but Eric's got a point. I mean, if this is site plan review and you guys don't have a site plan,
Yeah.
then that's a
Yeah.
problem. If I could, I'll just, I want to take a recess, but I'm gonna head over to my computer and just see if I can find anything.
Okay.
So while he's doing that, were there any other conditions? Did we want to make like emptying the dumpster on a regular weekly basis? Or
In the winter, that probably wouldn't be necessary.
probably not, yeah.
You know, by June, July, August, and into September. I'm guessing the stanch will dictate how many times you have it emptied.
Yeah, I mean, that and the flies too, because, you know, that's kind of something, that you can't really help, but I can try and figure out how to help that. and
It's
just
not that far
continue.
away that we have a development of people.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of wet area. It's a humid, wet type area, and I certainly wouldn't want to bother anybody anywhere around you.
right.
I'm all for your business, certainly. I just want to make sure we can minimize in advance. Because I don't want to have a code guy cut, oh, you got to empty that dumpster and,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I don't want that either.
No,
so.
I'm sure you don't. Nice and smooth sailing, right?
Yeah.
You have regular Lockmere Village District water.
I'm not sure.
Yes,
There's no sewer though, right?
yes,
There is sewer.
there's water and salt.
Nice. Okay then.
All right, I suppose we can't. And there is information in here on the lighting. Downcast, of course. For the barn,
Yeah.
yeah.
correct?
It's gonna be that one light on the roof of the
One
barn,
light.
just shining down.
All right.
Just so you can
Good for me.
see, especially
Yeah.
in the winter.
You're not gonna put any parking lot lighting in?
I don't think so. I don't really think it's necessary. Just as long as you can see, where to go.
No
That's
overnight
so-
parking per se, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's daycare.
There would be overnight
Right.
parking, because I believe if she felt.
The only real issue would be in the winter when it gets dark at like 4:30. But even then, so I don't think it's needed with the couple
We
of
have
lights
some
on the
in our
house.
neighborhood.
Well, you have it, yeah, you'll have the lights on the house.
Yeah.
The barn light. Oh, looks like maybe we found something. Let's see.
Are there any designated wetlands in that neighborhood?
Not that I know of. I think there's some on the other property. But
The
not
other,
on-
the other old restaurant, they're on the other side of that.
Over near the wood shop, Lucky Lenny's?
No, yeah, and there's a restaurant next to that that used to be open, it's been for sale for quite some
Meltaway
time.
or whatever,
Yeah.
out in back there, I
Yeah.
think there might be some.
Yes, there are,
wetlands
on the other side of Meltaway, I believe.
Pond back here, from the Lockman Meadows, there's a little pond.
Yeah, but that's not where I was talking about. I was talking about where, and then Shiloh.
I think there's
And
a
that's
wetland.
lucky
I think they have
down
some-
in here, I think
Yeah,
that,
go back
because
here.
this now is part of the development.
Well, that's the landscape company, isn't it?
Where?
Sorry.
Getting there. We're getting there.
Back here.
Yeah, that's their yard or whatever.
Really, then where's the development?
Over here.
Oh, it's over in this neighborhood.
There were some issues, I know there were issues with Meltaway, because Meltaway did some work they shouldn't have done, I believe, at one point.
In the back part,
Yeah.
yeah.
That should have it, right? Yes.
Yeah, so
Does this answer the question?
I think it might give them, it might help them possibly be able to act tonight.
Okay, so if you wanna.
Because
Sure.
So this, this shows, I think, structures in relation to setbacks. This is generated for a different project, but I think it may give you guys, get you a little further down the road as far as confidence that there can be a site plan generated that satisfies the board's needs.
That one doesn't have the outlines that I drew on there, right?
Right, this
Okay.
is just from an old, like, that's what
Okay.
the law, yeah.
This is before Lockwood Meadows, I think that's Lockwood Meadows, isn't it? There's a house, garage.
House and barn?
Yep, so the garage would be the barn. That's the same map I submitted, I just wrote stuff on there.
That's lot six. This is Lockwood, this would be like Lockwood Meadow driveway now. Just if you follow the bend. So that's the house. Barn. I don't know which of those is Shiloh's.
What was that say?
Railroad ties.
This is the house and barn.
Barn right there.
Yeah.
Then what
So
are those
this
three
is
or four
Shiloh's.
buildings over there that don't exist on this
One
one?
of those is Shiloh's.
And one of them is that place where Billy Doubleday, that red building.
No, that's over here, that's the
Oh,
hardware
okay.
store.
Oh, well, so there's a lot.
Yes.
There's a lot of other stuff on there
There you
that,
go.
Yeah, there's like a shed on there that's not there anymore.
This antique shop is parking lot.
Yep,
The antique shop is where Billy Doubleday had his.
No, Billy's still in
I
there.
thought it.
Excuse me?
Go ahead.
Well, I don't want to say anything until I'm
Yeah,
recognized.
you, well, that's the gentleman.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
On that map, I believe, behind the little antique store, you see another building there. That used to be Bill Hopkinson's woodworking shop. Shiloh's incorporated that. So the front of Shiloh's and half of both sides of Shiloh's is the footprint of
Do you want to?
the old Hopkinson.
Point it out, because.
This is,
Yeah. If you look here, this building is gone. Okay? This is where Shiloh's was, and that's where Shiloh's is. And what we did was, we added on to the back of that building. So the front of here has been existing now for about 50 years. This piece and this piece were existing all that time. And what we did was, we came up the back, going towards the back of the property, not going towards Laconia Road, and we doubled the size of the building and we went up. So the original foundation is still the original foundation from 50 or 60 years ago. except for the addition on the back of the building, not towards the road at all, and not out to the sides.
Thank you for that translation.
Got it on Google.
Were the budding restaurant people notified of this?
Yeah, I mean, Dana notified all butters.
But they're not technically a butter because the landowner would be notified. It's not a separate lot.
Which is Mr. Burke.
The lot owner gets a butter notification, yeah, I mean, the property owner.
Yes.
If I felt that there would be any issue with what Brittany is trying to do that would affect the restaurant, I wouldn't allow it, because I have to deal with both of them. So I don't believe, I've been to her facility, I've been to Moonlight Kennels, I have dogs, and like I said, if I thought it was going to affect a tenant I already have, an existing tenant, I wouldn't go near it.
Thank you. It's good to know. So it's kind of a plan.
Well,
I mean,
no,
you can use your
it's planned for a
imagination.
different purpose, but I think, the reason it's what she used, I think, some of the information from that is what she used on her plan. I mean, we're dealing with an awkward situation here. She submitted information that I don't know where it is. I don't have it to give to you guys, so this doesn't happen very often. It's kind of up to you guys how you want to handle it. Again, I think you could continue the case, or you could create a condition that says, a condition that if you were leaning toward approval, you could say there needs to be a site plan submitted before final approval is granted.
I would say that would be a must.
That the site plan,
That
yes.
we have a site plan to look at for the site plan review. I don't necessarily see a problem with it,
Right.
we just don't have it,
Right.
you know?
Okay.
It is a site plan review. We don't have a site
And there you have it.
Okay. Is that a motion, or do you want to continue? Motion to continue.
I would make a motion to continue this case until you can come back with that site plan
Okay.
review. And then we can look at that. Well, I'll just let it go at that. That's my motion.
Okay.
Second it.
And continue, let's do a date certain. So what's is it May?
Conditions. I'm going to vote against it. Are you?
Okay.
May 14th. That's our first meeting in May.
Okay, so motion to
Okay.
continue to the May.
Yeah, till the May 14th meeting.
14th, we have a second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 No.
Nay.
Ayes have it.
Ayes have it.
You have a vote. How are you voting?
I voted aye, because
So it carries.
probably should have a site plan. Although it is unfortunate.
I voted nay because I just think it's not her fault that we don't have the
I
document.
don't either. and I
It
think
isn't,
we
it's
could-
right.
And I think we
I agree.
could make conditions, but it's already been passed, so we can't do anything about that now.
Okay.
We should have had a discussion before
Ah.
we voted.
Yes.
And we had
What
I had no
happened?
discussion.
I did not offer a discussion. I just,
on
we
the
Well-
voted.
motion.
Proper procedure, and that's, it's okay, it's just a minor mistake. But proper procedure would be to allow for discussion, so if you want to re-vote after having discussion, that would be appropriate.
All right, I'll open up for discussion. And,
I voted nay and would have voted for conditions. I voted nay on making her come back because I don't think it's her fault, number one. I think she sent the information in and it wasn't provided to us. And that's an unfortunate situation because we had a change of employees, so that's not really anybody's fault. It fell through the cracks in the process. And I also heard on her two things. We need an official map, which she sent, that we don't have. And then what with the other was
Well, the map will show the setbacks.
the setbacks, and it will show that storage and all that, so that's why. And that she needs to contact DOT. So, and
So you're saying
they
there
were
is a site
notified.
plan?
And they were notified.
You're saying there is a site plan, we just don't have it?
Yes,
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there is.
Submitted.
sent in.
That's why I was going to say those conditions.
Yeah, it is a tricky situation.
So that's my discussion.
Because, yeah, I mean, procedurally, normally we would say you have to come back, but it was submitted, and assuming it's all, you know, in the spirit of not holding business up even more.
I think it's important to have a site plan. We've had this discussion before. I know it's an unfortunate circumstance, but we've held people to things where we needed to have a site plan. We made people come back for a site plan. I understand it's an unfortunate circumstance.
She submitted a site plan.
I understand that, but it's still,
Procedure.
I'm not comfortable just approving something, yeah, we looked at this, but I want to see where she's going to have snow storage. I want to see where the dumpster's going to be. I want to see that, and I want it, I guess I want it in writing, if you will, because it's going to be on the site plan. It's a site plan review. We don't have a site plan.
Okay. Can we do a revote?
Yeah, I think you can do a revote.
All right.
And just make sure there's no more discussion.
Yeah, are you, Joe, still going to go with your original motion? Are you in favor?
I'm still where I was before.
Okay,
And I know it's not your fault, but I still want to see it.
Right.
I don't know where it
It's
is.
just
yeah.
want to see.
Yeah.
I understand, but it's, for me, it's also been like 6 months of trying to get this stuff
Bring
done.
a paper copy in, or was it strictly digital that was distributed?
Nope, I brought a paper copy of the site plan, and then I brought in an additional copy of like a different map.
Sorry, let me check one more place. Sorry about this.
I do feel badly.
I know.
Certainly.
If we can make
You
it
know, I
work.
don't want to hold you up here, but
Yeah, I mean, but then again, procedure is procedure, so this is the most important part of the plan.
Yeah, I mean, you can see she went to the zoning,
Yeah.
she's done everything properly. I don't see that this plan is gonna be off. if
And we
you
have
make
the
it a
property
conditional-
owner
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Well, maybe we can find a plan, and then we can,
And May 11th is what?
so you don't have it on your,
And we're delaying her business for,
Another
Bring
one,
it
2
in.
weeks.
yeah, the school will be out, and people will be making
A
arrangements.
half ago, a month ago,
somewhere.
Yeah,
you didn't bring
And
a
it was
copy of that
timely?
with you tonight, right?
yeah.
Point of information,
Yes.
if she doesn't get approval here, even if she got a conditional approval now, and she waited, she wouldn't be able to get an occupancy permit. If she can't get an occupancy permit, the only thing that she can do now is maybe do some of the interior work on the place, or clean up the place, or know that she's going forward. But she still can't occupy the place.
So we have a final?
So until
Right.
you guys say,
Yeah.
okay, she can't be there. So it's not
Right.
unusual to have conditional approvals based on the fact that there's more information that's needed.
Exactly.
It's not saying you can do it.
All right, thank you, thank you.
So you still have the motion, right?
Motion
No, we
was
didn't
made
get back to
and
that.
seconded and voted on.
And
It
discussion
was, and then we had
on it.
discussion,
Then we had
and then
discussion.
sort of an agreement to go.
Is he willing to withdraw his?
Well, he's not withdrawing his motion.
Oh, because we already voted on it, exactly.
Well,
No, because he said he's still in the same spot.
Yeah.
but you didn't vote following your discussion, which to me it seems appropriate. An error was made in not allowing for discussion following the motion on the second. It seems appropriate that you would now re-vote on that same motion. Just to
Okay.
well,
Right.
clarify. And who seconded it, by the way? Okay.
Eric,
Good. All right, so since we discussed revoting, then, yes,
Madam Chair,
yes.
make a motion to grant conditional approval in case number, somebody help me out here. I've got so many.
1902.
1902 with the following conditions. That all state and local permits and conditions are met concerning stormwater, wetlands permits, sewer,
no
and
one
water.
did.
That,
Just reading your thing.
excuse me?
She was talking.
That you're in compliance with the state and local fire codes, that you contact the Department of Transportation to answer the question of driveway permits, that you're in compliance with the sign regulations for the mixed-use district. After all conditions are met, that 3 copies of the final site plan will be submitted for the required signatures. All building plans are to be reviewed by the town code enforcement officer and the fire department. The lighting is to be downcast. You have to be in compliance with the ZBA conditions that you received already. And dun 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 dun, that's all.
With the dumpster.
Dumpster.
Dumpster placements, no.
No, I think the dumpster needs to be emptied
Once a week.
during the months of May through September, warm weather months.
Once a week.
I would add that as a condition.
I don't think we.
Is that
that's-
telling
that's
them how to
not
run the
our-
business?
Yes, that's telling them how to run their business.
Okay.
That's good judgment on the part of the property owner.
She's
No,
gonna do it
there's no way to
anyway, so
really
let's just
enforce
go.
it. Well, except for the health and health.
Well, that's required.
So, I mean,
It needs to be
Joe's
done.
making the motion, it's his decision whether he
Oh,
wants
okay.
that in there,
Right.
obviously.
Seems nitpicky to me, but if I don't put it in there, if you don't do it and there's no problem, nobody's gonna know. You know what I mean? But if you don't do it and there is a problem, then it was part of the condition.
Right.
And there you have it.
I will second that.
All right.
Do you understand it?
I do, and I don't like it.
There you go, vote accordingly.
Okay, we
Maybe
have
we
a
should
motion.
turn off the mic.
Vote no anyway.
Don't forget to ask for
It's not
discussion.
his.
Yes, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Do we have discussion? That was a motion to approve conditionally.
Yep.
No discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There you have it.
Nay.
One
Yes, I
vote.
know.
Nay.
One opposed? Nay. Thank you for saying that. Okay, thank you very much.
I'm appalled that we're approving something without actually having a site plan. I really am.
We've done it before.
Conditional, and one of the requirements is we get 3 copies of the site plan.
So what happens when we get the site plan, all of a sudden,
It's conditional, it's not final.
as you.
Point of order, we voted.
Well, there you go.
No.
It's conditional, it's not final.
Thank you, Brittany.
Okay, thank you very much. Dog. Okay, and on to planning board 19-03 subdivision. Thank you. Have a great night.
Good luck.
Thank you. Good luck. Proposal from the town of Tilton to subdivide parcel R23-5 into 2 parcels at 27 Sanborn Road in the Regional Commercial District. Who wants? Yes. Boy. Hello.
Maybe real quick, if you want to do a motion to accept the application, subdivision plan.
Is there a motion to accept it?
So moved.
Oh,
I'll try it. Sorry, Alden moved and who seconded?
Christine, you seconded, right?
I just said, where's the application? I just found it.
Oh,
I didn't-
so it's,
Right here.
it's a,
Oh, no, it's not. That's
yeah,
Oh.
it's a governmental purpose, which normally wouldn't need a hearing at all. It wouldn't be required to come before the planning board. However, planning board is the only entity authorized to sign subdivision plans. So the registry is expecting to see a planning board signature on that plan or they won't accept it. So given that we needed to get those signatures, namely from you and Juliet, that I think it was recommended to us, why not just notice it, let abutters come if they want to come, have the discussion. So for that reason, I didn't hand out the application because it's just not, it really is
not appropriate.
What is it, this?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
It's where the police station's
This
gonna
is
go.
the
Oh,
church
okay.
property, and we're subdividing it because we're buying a portion of it to proceed with building a police department on it. So originally, it was approximately 8.5 acres. We're purchasing 4.588 acres where the ball field was, up to the gate area.
And Jane made a motion to accept.
Yep.
Right.
Was there a second?
Second.
All right,
Discussion, all this,
Yeah, I got a discussion. There's a dotted line here that says to be conveyed to the town of Tilton. I see where the lot is actually divided, is a solid black line running diagonally through the property. What is the purpose of that dotted line?
It's,
Football
Says
field.
goalpost.
Yeah, but
Yes.
that's where it says that that's going to be conveyed to the town of Tilton.
That's,
I
I
know.
think it's just labeling, it, just like over
it's
here.
poor
That's
labeling.
just the football
Okay,
field.
this is for all of that.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the football
Just
field.
wanted to make absolutely positively sure.
They're showing the existing ball
Okay.
field.
I'm the new guy.
It's okay, I was foiled by
It
that.
says right in the middle of it.
You hear it?
New guy.
Yeah, no, I get that.
I was like-
I just wanted to make that.
Okay, so we have
I wanted
a
it with bigger than that.
motion, that was the discussion, I
It's
think
a
we
lot line adjustment right there.
Needs
for
to let
subdivision.
A
Yeah.
solid line.
all those in favor?
I,
Aye,
For what?
to accept it.
Accept the lot line or accept the?
No, we're
The
just
proposal.
accepting
Oh,
the
okay, that's fine, go ahead, yeah.
I,
proposal. Well, did you vote?
no, now you're
Sure.
on.
Sorry.
They just
Yeah.
accepted it for
Yeah.
bringing it to the table.
Yeah, now you have
Congratulations.
Selectman Tat.
Why?
More confusing than the
No.
selectman's office.
This is something that I couldn't get a straight answer to before. Why is Tilton subdividing the lot? Tilton doesn't own the lot. The lot's owned by the archdiocese. Why aren't they subdividing the lot?
Go ahead.
Yeah, it sort of goes back to the governmental purpose. This is a governmental project, and the town of Tilton therefore is bringing it forward.
Well, we have to have that subdivided in order to buy it.
Yeah,
I get that.
yeah.
But we don't own the lot. How can we subdivide the lot?
Lease the lot.
Well, Tilton's just the applicant. Tilton is the entity moving this forward. Obviously, it's endorsed by the owner. We have the owner's endorsement for the town of Tilton to move forward.
Right, and I don't think there's a requirement that the owner is here.
No.
Well, I mean,
It's-
It would be in any other circumstance.
It wouldn't be okay for the town to just, come
yeah.
forward with this without the owner having any idea of it. Like,
Well, no, but obviously,
Yeah.
they're not here.
We know, but, right, they don't have to be here, we do have to know that they are indeed on board with this, which
Well.
we do know, we have plenty of
We have,
confirmation.
we do. We have a purchase and sale agreement, we have a deposit
Right.
made to them. Yes, we do have plenty of.
And it was addressed at town meeting, so.
Yes, yeah. If you don't know about it by now, then.
So this is just a formality.
Courtesy and formality,
Yes.
yep.
Okay.
It's really to get those two things on the
Sign it.
Mylar.
How long
So-
will it take the town of Tilton to complete the transaction after the lot has been subdivided?
That's not appropriate.
Well, it's really not appropriate for this
No.
meeting, you're right, but it's a transaction, it's gonna be all done and said. This right here, the subdivision is part of that transaction, and then this is to go forward with the architectural plans that we tend to do. The
I was
geo.
wondering about the actual
digging.
transfer of the property.
Oh. It's-
Shortly
we-
thereafter, I
yeah.
would imagine. Okay.
Within the next couple of weeks, Joe. Everything else has been signed, sealed. Deposit's been made, everything else has been, which we'll get an update Thursday night.
I make a motion that we approve the
Ah,
subdivision of
19.
map 23, lot 5.
I second that.
Discussion, or, yeah, discussion.
Anyone from the public
Public,
wish to comment?
Tom.
My question would be, does that subdivision match the deed itself, and wouldn't that be a condition that the deed matches what you're approving today?
The new deed
That's-
will be conveyed showing the meets and bounds by the, I only know this because I do those, so it'll show the meets and bounds of the new safe, and it'll say a portion of this property, blah,
The
blah,
new
blah.
deed meets this
And what
requirement.
I'm saying is that I would think it would be a condition
No.
that the new deed matches that.
Not for the approval, no.
No, and they don't have any
No.
choice. When the deed's conveyed, it has to match what
Yeah.
property is being conveyed, no matter what. So,
And the
it's gonna
amount,
reference that
the
recorded
amount
plan.
of the subdivision is equal to the amount on the deed. That part I know, so.
The
it
deed
says
does
this is
reference
right.
that though. The plan. Once the plan's recorded, the deed will have that plan number in it.
Got a motion on the floor.
Yeah, we got a motion. We had discussion.
Second.
You seconded it, right? Okay. Any more discussion from the board? Retaining only
Flash and-
the... Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Done.
Is it here to sign today, Darren?
Yes.
So I don't have to run around?
Yes, not, let me forget. Yeah, that,
Here, take this back out of the way.
oh, yeah.
Okay, and we might as well go right on to the minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of March 26, 2019.
Second
Christine seconded.
discussion.
Did we have discussion on the minutes?
No.
No. Sometimes we do.
Corrections.
Corrections, do we have any corrections to offer up before we, okay. All right. All those in favor?
Oh, do we vote? Yes.
Yes, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Looks like we have a
Course.
change of use review. For the
Church.
For the church, that was under other business, right, Dari?
Yeah, that's right, there's the change use review form.
All right. Under other business, we have a change of use review form for a church downtown.
Barbershop and pool tables.
Mhm.
The barber shop
Now
was,
It was haircuts for men.
Oh,
And it's gonna be a church, yeah.
did anybody have a chance to look at this and
I did.
know what this is about? Okay, I looked at it. So we're just voting on if we need to site plan it.
Yeah, I think it's because of, the current land use office staffing situation. I thought it was important that, I think for the time being, it's important that probably most change of use review forms that come in will be brought before you guys.
Okay.
It just doesn't make make any sense to, to have these decisions being made by folks who are kind of coming from this point. I'll just grab, the cover page that talks about proposals that involve a change of use but do not involve change in traffic flow, increase in traffic generation, increase in parking demand, changes in drainage, increase in demand or changes in water, sewer, or other utilities, changes in fuel storage, changes in hazardous material storage, and significant changes to the outside layout. The land use office would generally send an email to someone if they met all those conditions, that none of those were being changed. That would get us to say, we'd send an email and say, we have the authority to determine whether certain low threshold projects don't need site plan review, and we hereby declare that this one does not need that. To me, it seems very likely that this would be one of those projects that don't generate changes to any of those. So the land use office, if I'm right, and none of these are changed, it would be the general practice of the land use office to inform them they don't need site plan review.
Question. This will generate a change in parking.
Okay.
I was just thinking that,
Okay.
Possibly, that's a good point, though.
because it's right next door to an existing church.
And maybe, I don't know when the services are, and it's Sunday morning, and that whole row right
Sunday
there
morning, Wednesday
is
morning,
busy on Sunday mornings. I already know this. So if we're putting another 30 cars in that area all at once, there might be parking issues. Potentially.
Or potentially, might not.
It might not, but I can't tell from this.
So it's tricky with this because we want to encourage downtown business, but now,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have a question. When are the auctions? Are they on Wednesday nights?
Oh, the auctions? Yeah, I think, aren't they on Wednesdays? What? Mondays?
Mondays, okay.
Okay, all right. So I won't impact that.
It won't impact that.
the auctions.
Across the street.
And can you tell me if this is a place that has daily services, nightly services?
It says.
It says
here,
Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Sunday
There are
mornings,
3 days a week.
Wednesday mornings, and sometimes Friday
Friday evening.
evenings.
Wednesday mornings and sometimes Friday evenings.
But,
Sunday, Wednesday, and
So,
according to your
They're
list.
gonna have food there too.
Lunches.
Lunches, yeah.
The church next door does too.
coffee and snacks.
Yeah, I mean,
lunches
that's not-
and-
Church next door has a full kitchen as that's been inspected and
Yeah.
Oh.
fire codes and all the rest of that stuff, which does not exist in this. So I would have questions about that whole lunch concept.
I just have questions.
I don't know, it doesn't say.
I just have questions about the parking too. That's,
So I would say that it would be a change of use.
that requires site plan review. Okay.
Might be easy, but there are a few questions that, because the use would be definitely different than what's in there now.
Do you want to make them do it as a motion? It's certainly acceptable, and it would make it clear what the board's standing is.
And I would make a motion that this proposed use is indeed a change of use and would require a site plan review.
Second.
Discussion. That one. Anybody? Yeah, I think it's tricky. Because, I mean, lunches, what is that like? Brown bag, something they
Don't know.
already prepared, I mean.
And that could well be the case, but without a site plan review, there's nobody
don't
to
know.
even ask. They're not here.
I don't think having
At
lunch
meeting then.
is a. All right. We'll just vote. All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so site plan review.
What, did,
That's,
I said aye.
unanimous? Okay,
yeah,
It was.
okay. All right, so we will inform them of this, and I expect they'll submit a site plan application. So a letter came in pursuant to section 106 of the National Historic Preservation Act. This is, it's relating, it's an opportunity to comment. So pursuant to section 106 of the National Historic Preservation Act, regulations promulgated thereunder and interagency agreements developed thereto, EBI Consulting Incorporated on behalf of T-Mobile USA provides this notice of a proposed telecommunications facility installed at the address listed above, Tilton School, 30 School Street. So you know they have towers on their smokestack. So this is just an opportunity to comment. If anyone wants to look at this, you can. That's it.
that's it. Okay,
Motion to adjourn.
all right. Public comment.
Yeah, I just noticed that there's no minutes on the website since last October. And I'm just, so, and I was trying to find some information
Yeah,
on stuff, and I can't.
I will contact the planning
It's
office.
like just a,
Planning,
just a cleanup thing.
Yeah.
planning office.
October? Is that really what it is?
Yeah.
There's nothing in 2019 at all.
Okay.
I know they exist, they just haven't been posted on the website.
Yeah, I should.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
No, I,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay. Good.
no.
Yeah, I know.
Well, we've seen them as they were coming in, so we didn't notice.
The funny thing is I know
Because
that.
they've been,
I think
They've
Sheena
been
will,
filed, though.
I'll make sure Sheena has everything she needs from me to be able to get. I think they're
Maybe
all.
Tim and get them up.
No, I don't think that's the case. I think, we did approve a big batch of them all at once recently. I would have thought it up until December would be up though. I'm not surprised nothing's up for 2019, nothing's up for 2019 because of, I think 3 sets of minutes were all approved at once, but December's already been done and finalized. So I'll see what, we'll get those up.
Who uploads those, Tim?
yeah.
Tim does.
Tim, oh.
He doesn't, he needs to get them from us.
Right.
He has no, like, if we're not getting them to him, he starts to pop up, and when we get them to him, he puts them up almost immediately.
Anything else?
I'll make the motion.
Motion to
Second.
adjourn. Adjourns. Thank you.
All in favor?
I don't think we have to do that, but you're gonna take it.
For me.
Not really good.